Okay, hold on tight because what I'm about to tell you is absolutely wild. You know how in the world of royal gossip, one tiny whisper can explode into a full-blown firestorm? Well, this one, oh, it's hotter than ever, and it's got Meghan Markle right at the center of it. Apparently, and I still can't believe people are saying this, there's a rumor floating around that Meghan Markle might have had a secret child. Yep, a hidden daughter. Long before Prince Harry ever came into the picture. Sounds unbelievable, right? Like, no way, that can't be true. But here's the thing. This story isn't just some random internet troll's invention. Oh no, it's got layers, names, sealed documents, and that one mysterious missing year in Meghan's past that people cannot stop obsessing over. So, let's rewind a little. According to the official version of Meghan's life story, everything looks picture perfect. Born and raised in California, went to a Catholic high school, took a gap year, then off she went to Northwestern University. Nothing suspicious there, right? But, and there's always a but, skeptics claim that the so-called gap year wasn't about traveling or soul-searching at all. They say that gap year was covering up something else entirely, and that's where things start to take a seriously dramatic turn. Because according to these whispers, that missing year was when Meghan was supposedly married, yes, married, to a man named Joe Giuliano. And even more shocking, some claim she had a baby girl during that time, a daughter. If true, that child would be in her 30s now. Can you imagine? Meghan Markle, the Duchess, the actress, the global icon, with a hidden grown-up daughter? Now, if you're thinking, okay, but where's the proof? That's where things get murky. If this alleged daughter really exists, why hasn't she ever come forward? And what's up with those sealed court records in Las Vegas that supposedly link back to Meghan's teenage years? People are obsessed with those files. Because think about it. If this was just some short teenage marriage or a quick annulment, why keep those documents locked away decades later? Why seal them at all? And that's exactly what fuels all the speculation. Because if Meghan's image has always been about being authentic, transparent, and speaking her truth, then a secret like this would completely destroy that carefully built narrative. It would clash with everything she's ever said about herself. Critics say that's why this rumor just won't die. It's not just juicy gossip anymore. It's a potential contradiction to her entire public persona. The theory goes that the Giuliano family might have stepped in quietly to raise the baby, letting Meghan move on and chase her Hollywood dreams. Some even believe the family helped protect her, keeping the truth buried so Meghan could reinvent herself. If that's true, it paints a very different picture of her. One of a woman who might have chosen ambition over family. And let's be honest, that's a heavy accusation, one that cuts deep, especially when it's about a child. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Apparently, Meghan once let something slip. A little oops moment that sent fans spiraling. During a Netflix chat with Chrissy Teigen, she joked about a child you've never heard of. She laughed it off, of course, but oh my god, the internet went into full detective mode. Was that a random joke? Or was she teasing the rumor, poking fun at it? Or worse, accidentally hinting that it was real? Because you know how it goes. When you're Meghan Markle and the whole world is already buzzing with conspiracy theories, every single word gets magnified. What might have been a harmless joke suddenly becomes proof. And speaking of proof, enter Ulrich Grunwald, a filmmaker who reportedly stumbled onto whispers about this alleged daughter while working on a documentary called Harry the Lost Prince. Now, Grunwald never mentioned the child in the film, but that didn't stop the internet from losing its collective mind once the rumor got out. Online forums exploded overnight. Every blurry photo, every vague detail from Meghan's past suddenly became evidence. You know the internet. Once it grabs onto a rumor, it's like a pit bull. It just doesn't let go. And here's the weirdest twist of all. The name Noel. Apparently, that name keeps coming up again and again because Meghan's estranged half-sister, Samantha Markle, has a daughter named Noel Rasmussen, who, wait for it, is in her early 30s. Cue the dramatic music. For conspiracy theorists, that was it. They went absolutely wild with claims that Samantha's daughter Noel is actually Meghan's daughter, raised under another identity. There's no proof, of course. No DNA test, no confession, nothing solid. But the coincidence was enough to light the rumor mill on fire. And this is where things start feeling like a mystery novel. The sealed court records in Nevada, supposedly tied to Meghan's teenage years, are now treated like mythical treasure maps because everyone's asking the same question. What could possibly be so sensitive that it's still sealed all these years later? If it was just a teenage marriage gone wrong or an annulment, wouldn't it make sense to just unseal it? Why keep it locked away forever? That single question is like gasoline for the gossip fire. Some believe the secrecy means there's something explosive inside those documents, something that could shatter her image as the strong, honest, truth-speaking Duchess. Others think it's nothing more than the internet doing what it does best, spinning ordinary facts into wild fantasies. But here's what keeps people hooked. Those sealed files exist, and in a world where so much about Meghan has already been publicized, the fact that some part of her story is hidden only makes everyone more suspicious. It's the mystery that refuses to fade away. Now let's talk about Meghan's gap year, because oh boy, that's another rabbit hole. Officially, she said she took a year off between high school and Northwestern, probably to travel, find herself, all that jazz, but critics aren't buying it. They point out how little detail she's ever given about that period. No clear timeline, no specific locations, just a vague gap year. And when you've lived a life as well documented as Meghan's, that blank spot sticks out like a sore thumb. For skeptics, that's the missing year. The time when, allegedly, the rushed marriage happened, the pregnancy, and maybe even the birth of the child that could have changed everything. The theory says she reinvented herself completely afterward, burying that chapter to step into the spotlight fresh and untarnished. And if that's true, if there really was a child left behind, then we're not just talking about gossip anymore. We're talking about a secret that cuts deep into her humanity, her choices, and her desire to control her own story. So, let's pause for a second and imagine this. If this story, even a tiny piece of it, were true, what would that mean for Meghan Markle? For years, she's been seen as the woman who broke the royal mold, the one who dared to speak up, who fought back against an institution that nearly broke her. But now people are whispering, what if the biggest secret she's hiding isn't about the royals at all? What if it's about a child, a whole other life she's erased from her story? You see, this isn't just about a rumor anymore. It's about identity. The image Meghan has worked so hard to create, the honest, transparent, brave woman who tells her truth, would be completely shattered if this turned out to be real. It's like pulling a thread on a perfectly woven tapestry. Everything could unravel. And yet, she stays silent. No denials, no confirmations, no, that's ridiculous. Just silence. And in the world of gossip, silence is never neutral. It's loud, it's powerful. It makes people wonder if maybe, just maybe, there's something to hide. Every news outlet on Earth would lose its mind. Every timeline in Meghan's life would be re-examined. Every sealed record, every high school photo, every missing month, all dragged into the spotlight. The royal family, already scarred by decades of scandals, would face yet another avalanche of global attention. And Prince Harry, the man who walked away from the crown to protect his wife, would be left staring down the possibility that she'd been hiding the biggest secret of all. It's almost Shakespearean. Love, betrayal, secrecy, power. If it were a movie, people would call it unbelievable. But in the world of royal gossip, anything feels possible. So the question that keeps everyone hooked is, why would Meghan hide something like this? What could drive someone to bury a part of their past so completely? Some say it was ambition. Hollywood, after all, thrives on fresh faces and uncomplicated backstories. A teenage marriage and a child might have been a deal breaker for casting directors or brand deals. It could have complicated everything. Others think it might have been fear. A young girl raised in a Catholic school from a split family facing an unplanned pregnancy. Maybe she felt trapped. Maybe she thought disappearing was the only way to survive. It's easy to forget that behind the glitz and glamour, Meghan was once just a young woman trying to figure out her life. If there was a secret, maybe it wasn't malicious, maybe it was heartbreak, maybe it was survival. That's what makes this story so haunting. It's not just scandal for the sake of scandal, it's a what if that feels painfully real. And here's the thing, in the public eye, perception is everything. Even if none of this is true, even if Meghan's past is spotless, the rumor itself is enough to leave a mark. It feeds her critics, the ones who call her manipulative, cunning, or fake. To them, this story is proof that she's been hiding something all along. Meanwhile, her supporters insist it's just another cruel attack, another desperate attempt to tear down a woman who dared to speak up. And that's the tragedy of modern fame. It doesn't matter whether it's fact or fiction. Once a story like this spreads, it sticks. Because the truth doesn't go viral, the drama does. And Meghan Markle, for better or worse, has become one of the most dramatic figures of her generation. At the end of the day, the fascination with Meghan's secret daughter says more about us than it does about her. We're drawn to mystery, to scandal, to the idea that behind every perfect picture is a hidden flaw. People want the fairy tale, but they also crave the twist that breaks it. That's why this story won't die, because it feels like the ultimate betrayal of the fairy tale we were all sold. The American actress who married a prince and lived happily ever after. Add a hidden child into that, and suddenly it's not a fairy tale anymore. It's a real, messy human drama. And that's exactly what keeps the world watching, waiting, whispering. Whether Meghan Markle actually had a secret daughter or not may never be proven. There's no DNA test, no photos, no official record that confirm it, but there are sealed court files. There is a missing year, and there is a silence from Meghan, from the Giulianos, from everyone supposedly involved that refuses to break. So the world keeps guessing, and as long as those whispers echo through the corners of the internet, the mystery lives on. Maybe Meghan's just the victim of a cruel rumor, or maybe behind that dazzling smile, there's a truth she's never been ready to share. Either way, one thing's certain. This story isn't going anywhere, because in the glittering world of fame and royalty, secrets always find a way to resurface, and when they do, the world will be watching.